Well, some great expert advice there from Eitan Stern, who I must admit is boasting quite an impressive beard this morning, Mr. Eitan Stern. Wow, what is your secret? It's so healthy, so fruitful.
A number of generations of...
A number of generations, yes. Anyway, in keeping with all things finance, we're now talking about when it comes to our hard-earned cash. Nedbank have always encouraged us to see money differently, and at their recent Football and Finance Summit, they brought together these two unlikely worlds and a few soccer legends to help us kickstart our very own finance goals.
Finance and football may seem like two unlikely different worlds, but today I'm here at Nedbank's Finance and Football Summit, where they've invited seasoned footballers as well as financial experts to share how we can kickstart our very own financial goals. And I'm quite intrigued. Let's go check it out.
You know, going back to 2008 is when Nedbank first started with the Nedbank Cup, and our brand essence at the time was centered around enabling achievement.
Benny McCarthy being the ambassador for our Nedbank Football and Finance Summit.
Toby, how do the worlds of finance and football meet, and why is this important to Nedbank?
Well, I think one of the key themes that came out of today's Football and Finance Summit is this lack of mentorship, that a lot of the players have experienced in dealing with their finances, whether it be, at the pinnacle of their career or when they're first starting out. And I think, from a Nedbank perspective, if you look at our brand essence, is centered around using our financial expertise to do good for individuals, families, businesses and society. So football is a great way for us to have this conversation in terms of how everyone out there can manage their finances a lot better. And, it's obviously a key message that we want to drive from a Nedbank perspective around being money experts who do good. Obviously, we're very excited about, having Benny as our ambassador for this year.
How are you planning on using this new role to inspire ordinary South Africans to be more financially savvy?
It's an amazing platform that Nedbank has given, not just football, but South Africa in general, that, we don't often talk about our finances. We don't talk about our problems that we face in life. And here you've got an opportunity to hear people's stories. It's about starting a business, changing your life, making sure that your kids one day has got the proper financial backing to go to school, to go to better school, to get that education, making that first step into changing your life. So you start today, and with Nedbank, I think couldn't have asked for a better company to partner with, because they changed my life financially completely.
If you think about it, as a soccer player, you have a short-term goal to win the match and a long-term goal to win the season. The same can be said about your finances in terms of your short-term and long-term savings. They both require a game plan, practice and diligence, and you should never let a few losses keep you from playing the game. And why the decision to use the Nedbank Cup to spark conversation around money and saving?
Oh, soccer is such an exciting thing, right? It's all about the flash, brings people together socially, and just makes people more comfortable about having a conversation about money. When we look at soccer players and we think about that, they lead amazing lives, and looking at how they budget and manage their finances gets people really excited.
My story is about, coming from absolutely underprivileged backgrounds, but I never let my circumstances define who I was going to be and where I was going to be.
Football is the heartbeat of a society. Football is part of our society. Football is a sport that is enjoyed by 60% of our population. And this is the industry that has authored a lot of the rags to riches story. Players from very poor families all of a sudden find themselves a lot of money, like Benny McCarthy and others here, Tim Clayton and so forth, invest in property, look after their money, because they make a lot of money from football. And I think we would have achieved the purpose. As the Premier Soccer League, we are proud to be an institution of hope, an institution that gives people purpose, something to aim towards.
But the minute you stop playing, your lifestyle can't be 300,000 a month anymore. Now, how do we sustain that? And those are the things that we need to learn and we need to encourage.
The football finance through Nedbank initiative, I think it's a fantastic thing. Like I said during the summit, I think it's important for us to invite these young players to come and sit in on it, and try and grasp and take the advice that we are trying to give. because there's nothing wrong with asking around. None of us went to school and got taught how to work with finances, what does interest rate means when you buy a property or when you buy a car. We grew up not knowing these things, and all of a sudden you are exposed to them overnight. So I would encourage them to obviously come out and ask the questions, and I think this is a perfect platform for that.
What I took away from today's panel discussion is that next time you're out somewhere, don't buy everything for everyone. Stand at the back and let everybody else buy everything. But jokes aside, it's really just to save and be conscious of the fact that you have to save and think of your future, the next generation within your family. It's really making sure that you financially secure your family and the next generation.
The Football and Finance Summit was such a learning curve here today. The panel really dropped some pearls of wisdom that I'm going to be incorporating in my very own finances, starting with saving more and spending less in order to make sure that I live as comfortable as possible in the later stages of life.